Hard to believe it is back. Time for the season premiere edition of Wake Up with Wilder. I'm Ted Alexander with the head football coach, Bobby Wilder. Hard to believe it's game week.
We're back.
Here we go. New music, though. You got to love the new music. Keeping it fresh for the kids here.
That's right.
All right, before we get into the football action, I've got one non-football question for you. Favorite non-football memory from the summer for you?
Oh, it would have to be the trip to Washington, D.C. with the family. Just outstanding. Being up there 4th of July, the fireworks with 250,000 of our favorite fellow Americans. Good trip. How about you?
It was the same day on a dock at Deep Creek Lake, Maryland with the family watching the fireworks and then watching the traffic jam of boats having to leave. It was unbelievable. 2.5 hours for boats to get out of the way. So that's the non-football stuff.
There we go.
What a crazy, interesting, fascinating team to follow this will be. You say it harkens you back to 2009 in the first year.
It does. It feels like we're starting over in a sense. We have 115 on the roster, clearly the largest team we've ever had. Only 10 seniors, so 105 of these players are underclassmen, and that makes it interesting. That makes a great unknown when you're going into your season.
Well, also when you're talking about new college kids as well. I mean, they aren't only learning the Old Dominion football situation, but Old Dominion University as students as well.
You're right, Ted. A third of our team are brand new. A third of our team started this year. They're true freshmen and talented. This is clearly a very talented class. We can tell that after the month of preseason, but incredibly young.
Your coaching staff will have to be on point getting these guys up to speed, but so will your upperclassmen. How can they help the process?
Yeah, we've talked a lot with the veteran players. We've got 46 players that have played here, even though we're clearly the youngest team in Conference USA. We're the 4th youngest team in the nation. 46 players have played. We've got 34 guys that at some point in their career have started, and they've done a really good job with the younger players of explaining to them how it works, what game week means, and then what it feels like that first time you get to run out of the tunnel.
What should we expect from this young team as this season begins?
Well, we're all going to need to be patient. That's one thing I've talked to our coaching staff about, and I would say this to the loyal fans out there. It might not look as good early as it's going to look a little bit later, and we saw that last year, Ted. We got off to a pretty good start last year, then we had that rough stretch in the middle, and then we ended on a 3-game winning streak. So they're going to need a little time to mature, a little time to grow up. It certainly helps that even though we play the opener on the road, then we come home for 3 straight. That'll help our growth and development. When
you talk about other storylines of the offseason, obviously it's the post-Taylor Heineke era. First time in 5 years that you haven't had a Heineke to turn to. Is that something that you've talked about with the guys? Is this something from last spring? How have you transitioned everybody, not only physically without having 14 on the field, but mentally?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about to take the pressure off the quarterback position, not unlike we did when Taylor was a true freshman. It's going to need to be a team effort. We're going to need to approach this a little bit differently, how we coach, how we play the game, what we do within the game with field position. Those things will be different this year, but I'm very confident in Schuler Bentley at quarterback. He's had a great camp. He's led the team well. He's protected the football. Everybody sees it within the football team. So relying on the veteran players to lead us through will be very important early on.
All right, Eastern Michigan. The Eagles came to Norfolk a year ago. You were able to defeat them on a kind of a damp day with some good defense and some special teams action. Out of the factory in Ypsilanti, what do you expect from them?
Yeah, interesting. Last year, Ted, we caught them at a really good time. They had just played at Florida. Then they came to us. The next week they went to Michigan State, so they had a brutal opening schedule, three away games after their opening home game win last year, and I expect they'll be much improved. Their head coach, Chris Creighton, has won 72% of his games at 3 different stops, so he's a proven winner, and generally you see great improvement when a new coach comes in from that first year to second year. The players learn the system. They get excited about the system. Everything I'm reading online and seeing out of their preseason camp is I think they'll be a much improved football team. The key for us is going to be how we can contain their quarterback, Reggie Bell. He had a game last year against Buffalo at home where he rushed for 200 yards, he threw for 150, so he's obviously an explosive player. That'll be a key to this game for us.
It's been since 2009 where you perhaps had some of these same emotions. What's your feeling going into this? Is it excitement? Is it fear? Is it anticipation? Is it who knows what's going to happen this?
Oh, it's a lot of excitement, Ted. This has been a really fun team to coach, and generally that happens when you have a younger team. It reminds me a lot of 2009. There's a lot of unknowns going into the season, but these kids are really excited. They're dedicated. They take coaching. They have a lot of fun at practice, which makes it more enjoyable as a coach. And when you're not just grinding through 2 hours of practice, you're excited to go out there with the team. So I anticipate there'll be a lot of emotion, a lot of excitement. As long as we can come out and just be calm early in the game, keep the guys focused, I think this is going to be a good football team this year.
Is there any tidbit you can give not only to your team but other teams that are starting their seasons to be calm early? What can you do to try and give yourself the best opportunity to relax?
Yeah, I think the key, Ted, and it's been important for us because it always seems like we've been fairly young around here, and particularly recently with this transition moving up to FBS, is to stay focused on the process of winning. And that's easy to say, but I talked a lot with our team about this last night in our meeting about the three keys are planning, preparation, and then the execution. We've got a good game plan. Now we need to prepare throughout the week and then go out on Saturday and just execute. And we talk a lot about playing the next play, how critical that is. So if I can do a good job and the coaches can with our players of doing that, we've certainly got enough talent. Now it's just a matter of going out and executing.
I want to invite everybody to join the coach and I at Wild Wing Cafe, Sam's Drive in Chesapeake this Thursday for the season premiere of the Bud Light Bobby Wilder Coaches Show. We'll be there at 7 o'clock
and some quality
on
wings.
Thursday. Quality wings and the season premiere, perhaps in that order. Coach, thanks for the time.
You got it. Great to be with you, Ted, and excited to get this thing started.
And that's Bobby Wilder, and this is Wake Up with Wilder on ODUSports.com.